Welcome back, Pokemon trainers. Professor Chaz here, the lab coach on back order, and it's time for week number 56 of our Pokemon TCG live online matches. You can probably tell, blah, blah, blah. Welcome back, Pokemon trainers. Professor Chaz here, the lab coach on back order, and it's time for week 56 of our Pokemon TCG live online matches. You can probably tell from my voice that I am still sick with my cold that I got over the weekend, but I am prepared. I've got my cough medicine right here. I've upgraded to Chicken Noodle Supreme for my dealing with my cold. Got cough drops, all that good stuff. So if I do happen to dive into a coughing and or sneezing fit at one point in the video, I apologize for that. I'm not feeling that bad now though, so hopefully it's not going to happen. But we're going to continue our trend of checking out the break evolutions from Steam Siege. There's only one left that we haven't seen just yet on the channel, and it's going to be Hydreigon BREAK in a deck I've assembled calling Calamity Blast. Not really that creative of a name, I admit. I'm going to blame the cold. I'm blaming everything on the cold this week because it's a scapegoat. But it's going to focus on Hydreigon BREAK's attack of Calamity Blast. So you get 190 HP on this dragon type. For a Psychic, 2 Darkness, and a Colorless, Calamity Blast does 150 damage to the active Pokemon. Discard 3 energy attached to Hydreigon BREAK. This attack does 50 damage to 2 of your opponent's benched Pokemon. No weakness and resistance on the bench, of course. So, for losing 3 energy, you're putting 250 damage out on the opposing side, which is pretty good. The drawback is, of course, you're losing a lot of energy in the process, but I have some ways to try to make use of that. Admittedly, there's not that many ways in standard format to kind of handle that recoil, but I've got a few ideas in mind. Hopefully they're going to pull through. I've got 2 Hydreigon BREAK, 2 Hydreigon. You're going to find me using some of these attacks here also. Cruel Fang for 2 colorless to any energy, does 40 damage, and during the opponent's next turn, any damage done by attacks from the defending Pokemon is reduced by 40. So that's a good stall tactic. If they don't have very many options to sort of switch their Pokemon around, you're going to be immune to like 40 damage they put out against you. And Dark Burn for a Psychic, Darkness, and Colorless 50 times. Discard as many Darkness energy attached to your Pokemon, any of your Pokemon, as you like. This does 50 damage times the amount of Darkness energy you discarded in this way. So you can keep the energy on Hydreigon in the active spot, discard Darkness from the bench Pokemon, get that damage off, be prepared for Calamity Blast on a later turn, which is pretty good. So there are 2 Hydreigon. I've only got 1 of these Wireless in the deck because, as you'll see, I'm going to be using Rare Candy to try to speed things up. But I have a way to sort of make use of the Power Breath attack too. Now, double hit's not very reliable. Flip 2 coins, flip 2 tails, you get nothing. The most you can get is 40 with 2 heads, but Power Breath is a decent 80. You only discard 1 energy attached to Wireless in the process. So we might see some use of the Power Breath. I've also got 3 basic Dano in the deck just to get your evolutions into play. Not really going to see much use of this. The Roar could come in handy, but we're going to see what happens. So 3 Dano, 1 Wireless, 2 Hydreigon, and 2 Hydreigon BREAK. For the remainder of the Pokemon, I've gone with a couple of Psychic types. We're not really going to see them in battle that much. Possibly the second one, but the first one here is Cresselia. The reason I'm putting Cresselia in, I needed some more basic Pokemon just to be able to play the deck and not have too many mulligans. And I've got Cresselia in here because the ability My Way, if there is any Stadium card in play, this Pokemon has no retreat cost. So I like being able to maneuver my Pokemon around back and forth and just try to get something else to the active spot. And with any Stadium, Cresselia can retreat for free. I've got 2 Cresselia, I've got 2 Mew in the deck also. Mostly, you're going to see us using this for the free retreat cost as well. It has 0 retreat, but the encounter could come in handy. For 1 colorless energy, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. It's very good. I can find my Hydreigon BREAK if I need to, any of the Dano evolution line. Mew can find that. With only 50 HP, Mew might fall immediately after that next hit, but if it does get the Pokemon that I need into my hand, it's going to have done its job quite nicely. If it survives, it can then free retreat. So that is going to be the whopping number of 12 Pokemon in the deck. Everything is kind of banking on Hydreigon BREAK to get the damage off. And I've said before, it's wise to sort of spread things out a little bit and have a couple different ideas for your attackers. Admittedly, this is not the most consistent deck or the most reliable deck in that sense. I've only got 2 real chances for Hydreigon BREAK to do some damage. If I lose both of them, I'm going to be in a pretty bad spot and probably not going to win that battle. But hopefully the ideas I'm putting in give you some ideas for how to tweak this deck for your own uses. Let's scroll down to the energy. You'll see I'm running 4 of the Double Dragon energy. It can only be attached to a Dragon Pokemon. It provides every energy type 2 at a time. So basically, it's going to cover the Psychic and Darkness cost of the attacks. It's going to give you 2 energy for that. Another reason I'm going to put this in, I'll explain once we get to it, but just consider the fact that every type of energy will be attached to Hydreigon BREAK once that is attached. So 4 Double Dragon energy. 1 of those plus a basic energy of either Darkness or Psychic could cover the cost of Calamity Blast. So I've got 8 basic darkness and 4 basic psychic in the deck also to round out the energy at 16. Now let's go over the trainer cards. First of all, since we're going to be losing a lot of energy in these attacks, Zweilous, Hydreigon, and Hydreigon BREAK all require discards to really do some good damage. 2 energy retrievals are in the deck to bring 2 basic energy back from the discard pile. Now, I'm going to be making use of, the reason I have more basics in the deck that have some free retreat costs, I've got 2 max elixirs. Look at the top 6 cards of the deck and attach a basic energy you find there to a basic Pokemon on your bench. So that is a sort of quick, or not a quick way, but a somewhat maybe decent reliable way to get some more energy accelerated, because you can only attach 1 from hand, but max elixir lets you attach a second energy that turn. If all goes well, and I have a energy switch in hand as well, I can attach something to a basic Pokemon with the max elixir, energy switch it to an active Hydreigon BREAK, giving it a second energy that turn, which could come in a pinch if I really need it, but you never know. I'm just gonna give it a try. If it works, it works. If not, we know it's a failed idea. But anyway, I've got 2 Professor's Letters. I get 2 basic energy out of the deck, 2 rare candies to help evolve from Dano into Hydreigon immediately, and as you'll see, I've got Wally here in the deck as well. If I can rare candy from a Hydreigon in hand, I can then Wally into Hydreigon BREAK from the deck. On a single turn, after Dano's been in turn for 1 play, I can go into a Hydreigon BREAK immediately. And then, if I have ways to accelerate the energy, boom, Calamity Blast is ready to roll. I've got 2 special charges. Shuffle 2 special energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. Since there is the potential, we're going to be discarding, as it shows on the card itself, Double Dragon Energy. Discarding that using Calamity Blast, I can shuffle that right back in. And something I didn't mention, but since Double Dragon Energy provides every type of energy, what I could do, if I'm going to use Dark Burn, discard as many Darkness Energy as you like. I can discard a Double Dragon Energy, which counts as 2 Darkness being discarded. So a Double Dragon itself can do 100 with Dark Burn. So that's something to keep in mind. For every other kind of energy, plus Pokemon, I can get the Super Rod, shuffle 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy back into the deck. I always like to have a couple Super Rods if I'm going to use a Sycamore, because I hate discarding a hand of decent cards with Sycamore and then not being able to get like some cool Pokemon and energy back. Super Rod helps me with that though. And the Ultra Ball combo with the Professor's Letter and Energy Retrieval, I've said it many times before, discard 2 cards from your hand, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So, my trick is, Professor's Letter, get 2 basic energy. Play the Ultra Ball, discard those 2 basic energy, find the Pokemon you want. Then, you can either Energy Retrieval to bring those basic energy back, or you can also just Super Rod shuffle them back in also. So, it's a pretty decent combo. You're losing 3 trainer cards, but by getting 2 energy and a Pokemon, it's kind of a nice trade-off. The last items in the deck are going to be a couple of Versus Seekers. I always like to have at least 2. Bring back a supporter card from the discard pile back into your hand. First support is going to be Bridget to find 3 basic non-EX Pokemon and put them onto the bench. Don't even put them into your hand, just go right into play immediately. Now, this deck, I usually like to run a Scorched Earth draw support system in my decks. I don't have fire or fighting energy, so I gotta do different ideas for some different hands of cards. One thing is, Judge. Both players shuffle the hands into the deck and draw 4 cards each. So you don't get a lot of cards, but if the opponent has a decent hand, that can kind of mess them up. At least get rid of a bunch of their good cards, possibly. We've got Lysandre. I always say at least 1 Lysandre is required for a deck. Being able to maneuver your opponent's Pokemon around and get a knockout on something they weren't expecting is a pretty good way to get some damage off and possibly win the game. For some healing purposes, we got Pokemon Center Lady, heal 60 damage and special conditions from a Pokemon. And I've got Professor Birch and Professor Sycamore, both for the draw support of a new hand. 2 Skylas are in the deck, one of my favorite trainers to work with. She lets you find any other trainer card from your deck, put it right into your hand. Anything but a supporter card, you can then play immediately that turn. Teammates, of course, is here. I have a suspicion I'm going to be losing some Pokemon along the way, which is possible. Got some basics in here just to take some hits, essentially. Once I have lost a Pokemon during my opponent's last turn, Teammates lets me search for any 2 cards from my deck that I want. Take right into hand. I love that not even draw support. I love that search support. I've got Wally, as I said. I can evolve a Pokemon, except for Pokemon EX, on the very turn it goes into play. So I could immediately speed up into a Hydreigon BREAK if all the other cards lay out properly. The last couple of cards, I got 2 stadiums. Mainly, I couldn't really think of any stadiums to make use of, but I thought, first of all, let's go with the Fairy Garden. Now, any stadium in play will provide Cresselia with free retreat, as the ability says. But this here says each Pokemon that has any fairy energy attached has no retreat cost. Remember I said the Double Dragon Energy provides every type of energy? Well, that also considers fairy energy, therefore Hydreigon BREAK with Double Dragon Energy attached will have free retreat with the Fairy Garden in play. For another idea, I do have the Shrine of Memories. Each player's evolved Pokemon can use any attack from its previous evolutions. So if we do manage to evolve from Dano to Zweilous and then up into the Hydreigon and Hydreigon Break, that Hydreigon Break is going to be able to make use of Power Breath if the Shrine of Memories is in play. Decent 80 damage, only losing 1 energy in the process, which could be very well useful in these battles. Last items are 2 Heavy Boots Pokemon Tools. If the retreat cost of the Pokemon this card's attached to is 3 or more, which it is for Hydreigon, it gets plus 20 HP and can't be confused. Now, we'll see if that comes into play. I like the idea of getting plus 20 HP. Essentially, we're going to be turning Hydreigon Break into almost Mega Pokemon EX power. It's going to have 210 HP. The damage is going to be putting out there, 150 plus 100 more across the bench. This thing is going to be basically a Mega Evolution Pokemon EX with only 1 prize being drawn if the opponent knocks it out. I kind of like that. So that is going to be the deck I've assembled. 60 cards. I've got 12 Pokemon, 32 Trainer cards, and 16 Energy cards. Let's jump into some matches right now and see how well Hydreigon Break does in this week's Pokemon TCG Live Online match. Alright, we are going up against Skull 83 with a versatile deck with Colorless, Fairy, Fighting, and Metal. So let's call for the coin flip of heads. Get that nice dragon side of the coin there. Well, Sko is going to go first, which means we'll get to attack on our first turn with the power of Cresselia. Not really much else to work with in hand, though, so that's not the best thing. Hopefully, we get ourselves... I'm not going to put the other Cresselia down just yet. I'm going to wait and see, but hopefully we can get another draw support of a Talonflame lead. Always a good way to start your match off. Now, generally, though, you should go second if you're going to possibly lead with Talonflame, because then you get to attack with 1 energy on your first turn. Why would you want to go first? I don't know. But Talonflame seems to be a popular lead with that Gale Wings ability, of course. You get to play your Stage 2 to your active spot on the setup of your game. And that's before any ability blocking things come into play, like, Garbodor with Garbotoxin, and Wobbuffet in the active spot. You just turned off the abilities. But that counts for... I guess it counts for your current turn, not your next turn. Okay, whatever. So, we have no free retreat, and there is the draw support I was hoping for. I kind of need to get rid of all this stuff that I have. I have ways to bring the energy back, of course, and a couple of Versus Seekers if I need Lysandre. We find nothing of use whatsoever. But we do have an Ultra Ball. I'm going to play the Ultra Ball. Let's toss out... I don't want to lose energy. I'm going to toss out the Special Charge, and... I'm thinking Wally for now. Let's do that. I do have, as I said, Versus Seekers. I can bring Dano, put that onto the bench, and start attaching energy to it, because it's going to be the main attacker in this deck, of course. Now, it's only got a retreat cost of 2, so the Heavy Boots is not going to help it. But since there shouldn't be any ways in the standard format to get rid of our tools attached, I'm going to attach it right now to Dano. The only thing we can play is the Fairy Garden, but we're not really going to make use of that yet. We have no free retreat abilities on Cresselia when Hex Maniac was in play, but now Hex Maniac has been cancelled out. Evo Soda into either Lucario or Talonflame Break Lucario. So it's interesting, we don't see any fire energy on the Talonflame, which means there might not be a Talonflame Break. Even if there is, we have at least 2 turns we're going to worry about the Flare Blitz. But the Aero Blitz, or no, is it Flare Blitz? I can't remember. But we know there is Aero Blitz on. Stop canceling my abilities! Not that it matters. I'm going to stop. I want to read the card. Aero Blitz. Thank you. Alright, so 40 damage choosing any 2 cards. Talonflame is definitely an amazing card they added in Steam Siege. Something that, if you... I guess you could try to do it. You know, try to run at least a couple in your decks, because if you happen to have them to start with, that's awesome. If not, Ultra Ball fodder. You know, there's 2 extra cards you can throw out with no remorse, because you can't use them otherwise outside of the setup. Here we find Bridget. Let's get some more basics out of the deck just to thin it out a little bit. Let's grab a Mew and the other 2 Danos. So the last basics, one of our Mew is prized. But that is all I can make use of. I really need to get myself some energy, please. What I'd really like to do is find a... Well, I would love Teammates right now, because in 2 more turns, Talonflame's going to knock out our active Cresselia. Teammates could allow me to get Hydreigon immediately. If I did happen to get a teammates, I'd probably go with a Hydreigon and a double Dragon Energy. Play the N! Play the N! Play the N. Please? No! Play the N! I want cards! They're gonna Sycamore away. Draw 7 cards, discard their current hand. They get rid of N in the process. No! You should have played N first. Okay, random receiver. We see they got Klefki in here. And got another Talonflame. Giovanni's Scheme. Of course, I've already used their supporter for this turn, so don't need to worry about 20 extra damage just yet. Possibly next turn, but it would be a waste if they use Giovanni next turn because one more basic Arrow Blitz will get the knockout. You know, if I had wait, if I get Judge, this would be pretty cool. Shuffle all that hand back in on the opposing side. Okay, but Cresselia does fall in one more hit. I could, if I really want to save Cresselia, drop the Fairy Garden and free retreat with the ability. They didn't Hex Maniac us, so that's pretty good. But, let us see. Yeah, nothing useful. Alright then. Let's, I'm not going to Super Rod yet, because if Teammates is in the deck, adding 3 basic energy back in is going to dilute the deck a little bit and make Teammates that less likely to find. So, we're going to allow the hit to happen. I can send up Mew. Mew has the free retreat cost, and I can just retreat into something else to take some hits better if I don't have a proper setup. They're powering up. Is it the Fight Alone Lucario? Yes, it is. So the more Pokemon I have in play, the more damage Lucario does. That, I'm not interested in dealing with. But we could Calamity Blast that, if we can get what we need into play. So Acrobike, draw 1 card from the top. Stop discarding the ends! I know you get a decent hand you don't want to shuffle down, but I want cards! Alright, so down goes Cresselia. You can claim your prize card anytime you would like. Oh, I forgot, they're going to do search first. Okay, and then they get their prize card. Alright, so Mew's going to come up. As I say, the nice free retreat cost is always good. Next we find 1 energy card. Tell you what, Mew, you're finding us a Pokemon. I could Roar, but that's not really going to do much for us. Let's go ahead and encounter. Search the deck for a Pokemon. Going to go with a Hydreigon. And we have the rare candy. Don't end me now. If you end, that pretty much ends the game. Usually my puns are not good, but today they're on fire. No, it's, I blame the cold. So we do have, as I say, free retreat for the Mew, as long as it's no. So the Mew is gone. But it does allow us to set up for a Hydreigon to get evolved into the active spot. Well, I'm going to set up the Cresselia first of all. If need be, I can drop the Fairy Garden and free retreat. But let's see what we get. So the Mew falls, and of course, going to get 2 more cards out. You know, if we play our cards right, they're going to deck out. Alright, let's go Cresselia. Take that active spot. They've sort of changed the sequence of cards being discarded and stuff when there's a knockout. So, rare candy into this Dano. So what can this do to us? If you have fewer Pokemon in play, this does 60 more damage for each Pokemon fewer that you have in play. So, 150 damage. Yeah, we're not surviving that. Actually, we would. But first of all, let's go ahead and play out the Professor's Letter. Grab a couple of Darkness. Attached to the Hydreigon. I'm going to leave Cresselia there for the time being. As soon as I need to, I can drop the Fairy Garden and free retreat. If I can find a Versus Seeker for Lysandre, I want to take out that Lucario as soon as possible. Look at that hand of cards my opponent has. I would just love to judge that away. I didn't discard Judge, did I? No. How many is that? I can't even count all those cards. It's gonna be at least 15, I think. But let's see what Talonflame is up to next. Versus Seeker. Why would you do this? I need my cards. Those are not the worst cards to lose, though. Are you really going to make me pick 3 cards from my 3-card hand? Okay, game. I'll play your game. 1, 2, and 3. Why would it do that? It's only got 3. It should automatically discard them. And the Lucario is going to get some good damage off. Now, what I like about this is now there's going to do 90 damage, which we can reduce by 40 using Cruel Fang. So that's what we're going to do. Get ourselves a Zweilous. We'll put that onto this Pokemon here. Why not? And we'll go for the Cruel Fang. 40 damage. So what does the other attack do? Vacuum Wave. It's not affected by weakness or resistance. Okay. So you can go ahead and get your 50 damage off on us. We're going to knock you up before you knock out us, at least. So that is something good. If you couldn't tell by now, I chose the legendary dragon music from the Unova region, Gen 5. It seemed fitting for a Hydreigon or Hydreigon BREAK. Now, you could retreat the Lucario, do your 40 damage with the Arrow Blitz, or you could just send up something else. So you're going to get a knockout. Actually, no, you're going to do 50. So Dano survives for another day. No. What do we get from the top? I've gotten to the point in my videos now where something goes completely wrong for me, I just have to clap, because the skill I am witnessing is amazing. So once again, Hydreigon is going to come up. If we could find ourselves a break, just for like more HP, because of course we can't do the Calamity Blast just yet, I would be so happy. I guess I'm alright with that. I mean, I suddenly realized, you know what, I would need more energy anyway to be able to do the attack, but let's just go ahead, Cruel Fang, 40 bop. You're going to take 50 back in response, but we're dropping you one more hit. And you're not gonna do any damage now with Fight alone. So, with like 52 cards in hand, what else can you play out? What I would really love is Lysandre and a Double Dragon, because I could Lysandre the Talonflame up and attach Double Dragon, do Calamity Blast to do 150 to the Talonflame and 50 to the Benched Lucario, taking this game in one fell swoop. But of course, can't quite do that. I would need to get a Professor Sycamore, and then I can't play the supporter yet that turn, but at least we can stall things out a bit using the Cruel Fang. And switch card. So they could have helped us out there. If we can get ourselves a Birch or Sycamore, this game is mine. That all depends if I can get the Double Dragon energy. But with 25 cards left in the deck, the fact we haven't seen a single Double Dragon energy as of yet, the chances are pretty high that they are all in the prize cards. But they're going to draw 2 more cards from the deck using the Arrow Blitz. We took 40 damage, of course. So, if we knock out the Talonflame, let me see here. So the fight alone would do 90, which is that enough to bring us down? Not just yet. We're going to put this onto the Hydreigon, do the Cruel Fang, but we only do 50 with the Dark Bird, so Cruel Fang does 40, and we're going to reduce damage incoming our way by 40 on this current turn. So they're not going to hurt us, but they can draw 2 cards out with the Arrow Blitz. Of course, they could retreat back into their Lucario and go for the Vacuum Wave, 50 damage. But thanks to the heavy boots, we do have a maximum of 210 HP on Hydreigon BREAK. Now, come on. Why would you do that? Oh, well. So you can do 50 with the Vacuum Wave. Yeah, your best attack there. But you should realize that you're going to lose that pretty soon. Huh. Let's let them get the knockout first. I'm going to keep that. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. If they end now, then well played game. I want to leave that Double Dragon as a surprise. Well, and it's not a surprise anymore. They can see my whole hand, but we got no basics in play. They're trying to build my bench up to do more damage with Fight alone. Well played idea. Unfortunately, didn't work out for you in this particular instance. Go for the knockout if you like. Now, give me Lysandre. Or even my own escape rope. I didn't put escape rope in, did I? No. Lysandra is the only thing that can help me now. No, we didn't get it. We're going to go with a decent Cruel Fang. Why not? And down goes the Lucario. And now it's up to the Talonflame to fight alone. Hi, Mew! Where have you been hiding this whole time? Sure, we lost one earlier. But now we can go for Calamity Blast. You got any more Pokemon for your bench? You do. What's your HP looking like? 70. Okay, that's not bad. I'd still like a Lysandre. Because we could do 50 to this Riolu with the Calamity Blast. I'm going to drop my Mew down. Alright, that's fine. What else you got going on for you? Another Escape Rope, perhaps? If they had Escape Rope, they could probably retreat. No, going to Arrow Blitz. So, another 40 damage. Lucario would do 90. That's still not enough to bring us down. I'm thinking if it does the fight alone. They're going to go down to 10 cards in the deck. They've only got one prize left to take, too. So this is where things come down to the wire. Another double dragon. So what we can do... we can go for the Calamity Blast, because why not? Discard 3 energy attached. We're going to discard... I think probably just the basic energies. I'm going to knock out the Talonflame, choose the Riolu, of course, to do 50 damage too. Tearing through the team. Now the Riolu survives with 20 HP left. But as long as they can't do enough to take us down in one hit, we're good. The most they can do with the fight alone would be 90 at this point. Going to bring us to 170 damage total. Even if they have another Giovanni Scheme, then they only do... what would they do there? 190, so I still have 10 extra HP. Or 20 extra with the tool. The Heavy Boots. I couldn't even think of the name. Okay, so they're trying to keep things going here. What I really want now is the Pokemon Center Lady. Never mind, that's going to be game. Well, I gave it my best shot with this deck, this team. Didn't pull out for us in this instance, unfortunately. But you saw the idea there, we could do damage. This guy has some pretty cool maneuverability and some ideas using the fight alone. And Lucario just kind of came through in the end. And well-played game by my opponent. So that there is going to wrap up our Week 56 coverage of our Pokemon TCG live online matches featuring the power of Hydreigon BREAK, though we really didn't get to see it. Unfortunately, I just didn't pull through in these matches. The deck probably wasn't consistent enough in this case, and, you know, you're going to have losses on occasion. You just got to take them in stride and realize it's a building tool, like a learning tool. You can build yourself up, find what didn't work, and kind of retweak things. What would I have done differently? Well... I do not know. I would really have to sit down and kind of think things out here. More consistency is just the thing. Like maybe add in more Skyla, go for more of the evolutionary line. Maybe not rely so much on the rare candies, perhaps. Go for more Zweilous in the deck. But anyway, just more ways to find Pokemon would be good. You could go for more Zweilous and level balls, perhaps? That could be a way to change this up. Maybe I'll try that off camera and just tweak this a little bit, see what I can do. But hopefully I've given you some ideas for how to possibly try to make use of Hydreigon BREAK. Definitely Double Dragon is a good way to go as far as energy, because you're going to provide 2 of the Darkness or Psychic, whatever 2 you need, as well as some basic energy to power up for the Calamity Blast. Try to get that damage off across the board. But all that being said, that is going to wrap up this week's video. Feel free to leave a comment down below, folks. Let me know what you thought of the matches and any suggestions you have to tweak this and make it a little bit better. Maybe not for myself, because I'm probably going to move on to the next deck anyway, but for anyone that wants to try to recreate a deck featuring Hydreigon BREAK, any comments you have to improve the deck could help them out in their own online matches, or even in real-life matches, too. So with that, we have covered all of the BREAK evolutions from Steam Siege. Next week, I'm going to start doing some other ideas. If you have any other cards from the Steam Siege expansion you would like to see used in next week's video, leave that in a comment down below as well, and I'll see what I can do about assembling a decent team together for that video. You can also choose whatever trainer cards you want. I haven't selected just the Steam Siege ones here, but you get the idea. Any Steam Siege cards or any other cards you want to see from any of the expansions, leave that in a comment below, and I'll see what I can do for assembling a deck. If nothing else, what I'm probably going to do is go back to some of my more standard decks, my favorite decks that I work with, and try to update them for today's standard format, because one of my favorite ones, I've said many times, is the Skullbreaker. It is featuring Marowak Break. However, it focused on using Milotic from Flashfire to knock itself out and power up the Bone Revenge of Marowak Break. Unfortunately, in the new standard format, Milotic is not allowed because Flashfire predates standard. So I gotta think of another way to work with this. So this is the first time that I've been doing Pokemon TCG videos that I have to update my favorite decks for standard format. I'm kind of excited for that, see if I can pull together some new cool strategies using the standard format. I'm also scared because what if I can't? But we'll see what happens. I do know, for example, another deck that I like to use is called the Creepy Shuriken. Now the name's going to have to change because it focused on using the Water Shuriken of base set Greninja to do 30 damage. On that same turn, I could use Creep Show from Gengar to knock out anything with 3 damage counters. So that was the combo, but of course, base set is no longer standard. This Greninja is rotated out of the standard format. What I do want to do is combine it, though, with... Why did I take my filter off? With the Steam Siege, and... 1 second here. There we go. Combine it with the Steam Siege and go with the... Show not own, please. Bear with me, my thing's not set up properly. Go with the ability of Ampharosa's Shocking Light. Once during your turn, you can put 3 damage counters on one opponent's Pokemon EX. That could be a standard swap-in for the Water Shuriken, if I can get it into play. Of course, it only works against Pokemon EX on the opposing side. But with all that, that does wrap up this week's video. Thanks for watching, and sorry I couldn't pull through with a win, unfortunately, using the strategy, but hopefully you got the idea I was working with. I just want to say thanks for watching, and again, leave a comment what cards you want to see for next week, and I'll see what I can do for assembling a deck. Until next time, Professor Chaz is signing off, and I'll catch you next time.